Morning, year one, and welcome to the final day of our maths lessons for the week. Okay, so today we're going to be concentrating again on 2D shapes, and we're going to take it a little bit further, and we're going to start thinking about their properties and how we recognize them. Okay, so to start with, we're again going to turn you over to the Singing Walrus and have a go at the shape song just to remind you of the most common shapes. And try to remember that in Lancashire, we call a rectangle an oblong. Okay, so when you've played that, start the video again. Okay, so today's challenge, which comes from the Enrich website, is trying to identify what shapes you might be able to see here and explaining how you know. So have a look at the three shapes that you can see through this window and tell your grown-up what you think they might be. Right, brilliant. So I think, personally, the shapes you've got are a semicircle, like that, which you can see is this way round, and probably two triangles. However, it could also be, because we don't know if it stops at this line, it could carry on, so it might also be this shape. What shape's that? Could be an oval. And these could be a square. I'll show you why. If we line it up, we were to move it there, it could fit like that. Or it could be, what shape is that? That's right, that is a rectangle or an oblong. So it could be either of those. So have a look at these and think what these might be. Start the video again when you're ready. Well, I'm going to confidently say that this one is a rectangle this time. And I'm going to confidently say that this probably is a triangle coming to 3 points. And this one is a triangle. The reason I think that is because there's something special about rectangles. And by saying rectangles, I mean squares or oblongs. Let's see if I can get a bigger one. Something special about the corners of them. So if we were to move that there and tilt it, do you see the way that it comes to a special point and this isn't? And again with this one, it comes to a special point and this one isn't as well. So those are probably triangles. This is a right angle, rectangle has, and so an oblong has it, and also a square has it. So what about these three? Okay, start the video again when you're ready. So I think you probably agree by now that this is either a circle or a semicircle. This one is a bit trickier. It is probably a triangle, but it also could be a rectangle because we don't see where it stops. Also could be a square, although it would go off the sheet of paper if it was a square. And this one, if you were really observant, there is a little gap there, which tends to suggest that this is actually a rectangle if these two lines are parallel. If they're not parallel, it's got to be a triangle, just a very, very big triangle. Okay, so that's the starter. Now we're going to have a look at the main part of today's lesson. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sorting shapes by their number of sides or by the types of sides. So I'm going to model this one and then I'm going to show you the free shapes. I'm going to talk about the last one because it's a bit more challenging. But what we're trying to identify here is shapes that have four sides. So can you point to one of the shapes that has four sides? And can you think of any others that have four sides there? Well, I would go with the first one is this blue one. Actually, the second one is also blue. They've both got four sides. One is a rectangle. This other one we call a quadrilateral. It's got a special name, but you don't need to worry about that until year 5. So both of these have got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Okay, so how many sides have the other two shapes got? Well, this one has got 3 sides, and we call that a triangle. And this one here has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's called hexagon. Okay, so I'm now going to show you the 3 choices for today, and I'm going to talk about the third one afterwards. So, if you want to do more of that, and you can either print the sheet or find shapes of your own, or even find objects around the house and put them in and find ones which have got 4 sides. They do not need to be 4 rectangular sides. They can be any 4-sided shape in this collection here. 4-sided shapes are also known as quadrilaterals, but again, you don't need to worry about that till you're in year 5. So, that's probably the simplest one because we've already modelled it. The next one is a bit more challenging. I want you to find as many 4-sided shapes and as many 3-sided shapes and put them in the 2 sorting circles. Again, you can find shapes around the house, you can print the worksheet, or you can make something like this and draw shapes to go in. But if you do draw shapes, grown-ups, try to make sure that they're drawn with a ruler. Okay, and then the most challenging one is this. Now, this has got 2 different properties. So, it's got 3 sides, so that would be shapes like this, but it's got at least 1 curved edge. So, if it's got 3 sides, the shape would go there. So we would put in, let's find you one. We'd be able to put in one like this, because that's got 3 sides. We're also looking at shapes with a curve. So with one at least curved edge, we'd be able to put this shape in. So circle, isn't it? But also there is shapes that go in the middle because they've got 3 sides and they've got a circle. And the third one that would fit in the middle is this shape that I've outlined here. So can you explain why that goes in the middle? Brilliant. It's got, let's count them, 1, 2, 3 sides, but at least one of them is curved. So have a look for those here. There's a few that have got 3 sides and are curved. And that is the end of today's maths lesson. You've done brilliant, and I hope you've enjoyed finding out about 2D and 3D shapes.